Hi everyone, welcome to TGIF, another Friday, another episode. Today it's my pleasure to host a leader who brings in significant industry experience working in firms like GE, JSW, Vedanta, and now he is the Chief Information and Digital Officer at SR Oil UK. It's my pleasure to welcome and host Vineet Jaiswal for a short conversation. Vineet, welcome to TGIF.
Thank you for having me here. Lovely, lovely. Looking forward to conversation.
Wonderful, Vineet. First of all, congratulations on your new role.
Thank you. I'm just looking forward. So I have done like a lot of mining, manufacturing. I've done oil and gas from the upstream and midstream. This is like the area which I wanted to learn and contribute something back on the downstream side. So I'm looking forward to do this.
Wonderful, Vineet. Vineet, quickly, first question to you. When it comes to manufacturing Industry 4.0 becomes like a tarmac, right? Now, so much of a cool innovation tech has happened in the last decade or so, and it continues to happen. So, in your perspective, how real is Industry 4.0 trail for manufacturing?
Great question, Sandeep. I go multiple places and I find that like it is more than a decade when we started talking about Industry 4.0, right? But the real power of Industry 4.0 will now get implemented, I believe so. The reason is that technology has moved to the level where it can match to the need what Industry 4.0 would have done. Like the things which you are doing, right? You guys are doing that on the chat GPT-3 side of it, right? What I have seen, right, in the industry, while Industry 4.0 had defined what all things you can do, right? But the technology adoption, it took some time. First thing was having people understand about it. Now the thing is not applying that back.
Wonderful, wonderful. You're saying things have come a long way in terms of innovation is at the right time, right place right now, and the design on the ground is ready to embrace technology. So wonderful.
And we'll add one more thing, right? What we are doing right now as a technology leader who's working with the business, right? They will not understand Industry 4.0. What we have done, they understand the business value chain against each business value chain. So let's assume customer, right? Then supplier, then manufacturing or refinery, right? Against each one of them, what is the technology of Industry 4.0 that can be applied? And if they click on that, they can get the complete detail of like what the technology is, what is the power of that, what that can be applied, what has been applied in our own company, what has been applied across the world, and try to show them the power of that so that more ideas can be generated in their brain for those particular value chains.
Wonderful. Well said, Vineet. A follow-up question to you. I think the most spoken term in the current time is AI. It continues to enthuse all of us. Quickly, the role of AI in manufacturing as we go along. What's your take on that?
I think huge part of it, right? And I was looking at one of the videos where you are trying to test it out, a conversational side of it, where the brain is from the Chat GPT side of it, right? Or GPT-3, right? So I really that is a lovely use case which we can apply, right? Currently, those HoloLens or those things are there to have assist a person, right? But what happened? It still become cumbersome. Let's assume there is a robot standing next to you, okay? And that robot can pull those information, everything which you need. So let's assume you have gone to do a service of a particular place. You are in a tough environment, right? A robot is standing next to you, right? And they are assisting you. Okay, why don't you do this next? So I just ask, okay, what's the next step I should follow? What they do from their eyes, camera, they capture what exactly I'm trying to do and they guide me that, right? All the data is available in somewhere in the system on a single flow. They just pull the information and apply it back there and help the person out. So that is one of the big use case. Second, which I feel which we can apply is that like if there is a fire in a place, right? We can send drones, and the drones can find where exactly the source of fire, right? And try to extinguish, right? So those are the kind of things which I see happening and going forward in the manufacturing sector.
Wonderful. Vineet, you actually brought in two things. One is generative AI in terms of robots ability to respond back in a conversation, but I think computer vision, that probably plays a critical role in the manufacturing setup because you need eyes to look at what's happening. from a safety, compliance, regulatory, all the stuff. So I think that's a brilliant thought. Moving on, Vineet, quick question to you now. Especially manufacturing and your oil and gas domain, sustainability becomes a I would say essential component of your operations. Now, one aspect which probably has come away in the recent past is digital twins, right? That means ability for me to look at a twin of the physical asset and then operate on the twin, which will have implications on a physical environment. So how important that is as we go along, because we're seeing genesis of this thinking right now, but your take on how important that would be going forward.
Digital twin is a big part of the ESG agenda of any company, right? There are three important things our company is focusing on, right? Decarbonization, decentralization, and digitization. And all of them together actually applies back to the ESG side of it. I will tell you exactly what it will do, right? When we have the data, right, as part of a digital twin, what we make sure everything is running as efficient as possible, right? Because the resources are limited, and if we don't utilize them properly and we leave something, right, in it back, you have lost it forever, right? So that's the one part of ESG, right? We cannot live without these things like but the resources like the crude oil, right? We need that, but we want to make sure we utilize the last part of it and the best part of it, right? So then the carbon capturing the carbon side of it and making sure if we have all the information on the digital twin and it tells us what's the next step we should do, what is the next efficient way, looking at the history and predicting what can happen, right? And assisting the operations guy out directly rather than have somebody applying their brain every time and looking at their history and trying to apply back. It's very difficult. So the best part of digital twin is it's going to assist human to make sure the operations are running the best possible way.
Wonderful. So good to hear, Vineet, because we've been talking about it for some time now. And I think going back to the earlier point, tech has arrived. It also complementary to what you just said. For us to make digital twin happen, I think tech innovation should have been where it is today. I'm glad we are hearing that from you, Vineet. Thank you so much for the perspective. Vineet, one last question before I let you go. Your take on two technologies that you feel will have a profound impact on in the manufacturing industry. So just two, according to you.
So I think metaverse is one thing, which I believe, right? And I will give an example for that, right? If I have an issue somewhere in my refinery, a person who can solve the problem is somewhere like on a vacation, right? In Florida, if they need to assist. Currently, we have to go to HoloLens, try to connect and all that. In future, metaverse along with 5G, what it will do, the person can virtually get assisted, and with GPT-3 kind of thing, robot, if you make it, if you all combine together, right, that can be very fun. So metaverse and using all the power of GPT-3 together can be a huge powerful thing for future in manufacturing.
Wow, I think absolutely. So we are seeing these two are the emerging trails of innovation, and tech is arriving. One has arrived, one has yet to arrive, but truly, this is great perspective. Vineet, thank you so much for time today. Any final thoughts before I let you go?
No, I think thanks a lot for having me here. I know Microsoft is doing a lot of stuff. I look forward to a lot of other technology innovations. See, my job is to really look at the technology innovation which Microsoft brings or any other company brings and apply back to manufacturing, right? I am the intermediate guy, the connector between the businesses and all the technology providers. So I always look forward to. So thanks a lot for having me here and all the good work Microsoft is doing.
Vineet, thank you so much. Truly appreciate your time this morning. And I know it's very early for you in the UK, but appreciate you joining me this afternoon. With that, thanks once again, Vineet. With that, for all viewers today, thanks for joining us for this conversation. As Vineet rightly said, I think Industry 4.0 as a thematic is real. Technology has arrived. It's time to make it a reality across manufacturing industry and across other industries as well. With that, thanks for joining us today. Have a wonderful Friday. Keep watching TGIF. Have a great weekend ahead. Bye-bye.